Hey, Bohemian Stars and Ocean Eye Readings, and today we're going to do another one. So I already laid out a pile, but I'll show you the options that we have. We're doing ancestor messages, so y'all can go ahead and see what resonates with you. Some people listen to the video through and see which pile is theirs and what resonates. Some people pick a crystal or a timestamp, different things like that. So go ahead. Some people already have their number. They're like, I always pick this number. So however you come to the cards, I also know people pause the video and use a pendulum. So I'm going to show you, a cardinal. The cardinals do come to and fro, but they don't come every day, y'all. And I just look and there's a cardinal, which is what baby's looking at right here. And of course, cardinals represent ancestors. Hey, oh my goodness. Okay. Tree moss agate is one option here. All right. Black tourmaline is another option. We have ocean jasper. It's a very dark green. And we have little sunstone. So go ahead and pick one of those, and I will see you on your timestamp. And I just saw 111 and then another one. So hey. All right, see you on your timestamp. For those of you who chose group 1, we're already here. Hello, ta-da. Let's go ahead and get your ancestor messages. We're going to start off seeing who is here with you, communicating for your ancestor reading, okay? With the Seven of Pentacles, lightning, eradicate fear. This could have been someone who worked the land for sure, because that's the image in the Seven of Pentacles, as a farmer, somebody who is a gardener, something of that nature, and they are tending the land. They're waiting for their harvest. They could have also worked with animals. They could have been very self-sustaining, or this could have been, you know, in a larger scheme, working for somebody else. This is somebody who, they could have had earth energy, especially Taurus, but could have been Capricorn, Virgo, could have been Aries. They could have been year of the goat or sheep. Their energy here was very slow. They were afraid to make big moves and things. They wanted to just tend to their job, stay focused. They kept believing and believing they were going to get some kind of return at some point. And so on the other side, what they're working on is getting rid of their fear, stepping more into their power, being okay with, they could have had a fear of like going to a city or kind of leaving the countryside or something of this nature. So they're shifting some energy on the other side that is to help them come out of fears and be okay with kind of connecting to others in a larger sense. I feel like they were someone who was definitely more comfortable with animals and plants and things of that nature, and not so much with other people or, you know, a lot going on. They seemed like they had a hard time really kind of accepting how things were, you know, in the greater spectrum of their society at the time, but they really didn't have the, maybe they felt like the toolkit, the social kind of toolkit or the position to really change that, or they didn't feel like they could deal with being around that. So they tried to just kind of isolate a bit more, just focus on the work that needed to be done and really, really connect with like nature a lot. And that was how they tend to handle things. They were very, I think, slow to speak, very quiet sort of person. They didn't really, you know, they weren't too loud or anything. They knew what they knew. But I feel like they're the kind of person, they didn't talk much about a lot of things. Unless maybe you got them talking about the craft, what they did, the land and animals and things like that. Then they would talk about what they know. But other than that, they weren't somebody who was too chatty. They were probably that cool, calm, collected, kind of reserved kind of person. And they could have had some long hair. They could have been pretty hairy. Maybe that's the name. Maybe their name was something like Harry, but they could have been very hairy in some way. I do see also Year of the Snake here. So they could have been Year of the Snake in their time. They were very smart. They were very, very smart. They were good at handling money and funds. They were good at being very thrifty with things. They were good at being able to, like, let's say, save some crops that were going to die that no one thought they could save. They had a very good hand, very adept eye on what they have. I do feel like they had a jealous streak to them. They were very possessive of things. They did have that kind of jealousy and envy, but I think they're the kind of person that really buried it deep because they didn't want to feel those emotions. And they kind of just felt like their remedy to that was just to kind of stay away from people and not try to worry about what other people had and what they were doing, and just find a way to be very content. They looked like they were very strong, like naturally, as was like developed from their craft, what they did, their trade. I keep saying craft, their trade. I think naturally this person would have had really good skin, but I think through uh, their work and things like that, they could have been fairly unkempt. They definitely could have looked a little kind of wild or something like that to others. They could have noticed that this person could be a bit rough around the edges for sure. I don't see them spending too much time focusing on anything. They just like, they had a beard, they let it grow. They had, long hair on their head, they let it grow. They just let it do what it do. They kind of spent more time, I think, pruning their plants and their crops than they did worrying about anything for themselves. They probably would tend to the animals a lot more than they worried about fixing themselves up in any kind of way. Yes, they could have been someone who also, they weren't too big on clothes, so they just kind of wore the minimum and just kind of were out there working with their shirt off or doing whatever they needed to do to like get things done. I think they probably provided a lot. What I'm getting here is like they provided a lot of like food or some kind of resources and things for other people in a large way to a neighboring city, something of that nature, or in town. Definitely, because it looks like they did return big crops. I don't see, like, there's this feeling that they didn't get their return in their lifetime that they should have from what they actually grew. There's the vibe that others got to benefit, but where was their payout for all of that? Like they're sustaining the livelihoods and lives of others, but where was their payout? So I think they have some things they're processing in regards to that and working through fears of speaking up. I'm seeing them learn their voice, learning how to speak up more, learning not to be afraid in different social interactions. Some of them, maybe they didn't speak the language well where they were, or with those that they did business with or interacted with, or they could have been where they had a kind of practical education, like life education, but they didn't have scholarly education, so that affected how they communicated. All right, so this is who I am seeing of who is coming through for your message. Let's go ahead and see what they have to say. Harmony music, so they could have been good at music. All right, could have been good at music. We see here, yes, we see the land again. They could have had a wonderful voice. They could have had some instruments that they played. They could have had a lot of great respect too. Again, we keep seeing that energy with the animals. So if they saw an animal who had passed away or something of that nature, they would lay them to rest. But they're saying you could have a gift of music as well. They could have preferred playing some kind of music, or maybe they would sing, but they didn't like to talk much. But they're saying that you have a gift of music here as well. And you might also feel your heart very moved at times where you see something, something very gentle. Like here, there's a broken egg that they're playing this song for. So you could feel very moved about tender things. There's a heart of an artist that's in you that they connect with. Perhaps if they didn't have to do some of this other work, they might have spent more time developing their songs and their music and things of that nature, although I do feel like they took some time to do so. So you're very encouraged to, at least in just a meditative way, connect with the music more and see how finding the harmony within your own voice and how you sound within the land and the animals and just out into existence really helps your heart and your spirit feel better. This is like a big relief, right? Music is definitely really, really, really good medicine, because they're saying everything that's good for you doesn't have to be for everybody else. So if you decide you don't want to share your gift, or you just want to sing for your own pleasure because it feels good, or you just want to pick up an instrument and learn and try because it helps your meditation process, something of that nature, they're really, really supportive of that. They're not worried. This ancestor is not worried about like, oh, you have to be a star to make me proud. They're not at all. They're very rich and grounded. They're rich in their own like talents and who they were and what they did with their hands, and like who they were just interacting very honestly and authentically with the world around them. So they're saying here it's important that you feel things that you can feel very deeply within yourself, that you can know when you need to heal, that you still let yourself be moved and touched by things that you see, even though you might be this tough person on the outside. And they really relate to that energy. All right, resistance. Yeah, exactly. They're like, you can be this very strong person. We have like Saturn energy, who maybe others even find a bit formidable and tough, and rough around the edges sometimes. But then at the same time, be someone who is very spiritual, very sensitive, very creative. And everyone doesn't have to know if you don't want to share that. People don't need to know what you're doing in your spiritual practice that's done in a good way, something of that nature. We have number 22. Number 22. For some of you, this could be the age that this, sometimes in certain, people pass very, very early. So it's possible, or maybe you're 22 years old right now. There could be something significant. Someone could be born on the 22nd, or it could be a 4. So someone could be born in the 4th month. Yeah. Yeah. I love that they're showing here the deep roots that they have, like protecting you and surrounding you and encouraging you to grow strongly, to know that you're supported, to know that they're encouraging you not to let the world kind of knock you over, that they see how strong and tough you can be. They're saying here, don't take setbacks or harsh lessons from the world, don't take that onto your heart. They're like, release that energy. That's just, it's the way that it's kind of like, it's the way the seasons go sometimes, right? Don't take it, you feel it personally, right? Feel it, feel what you need to feel, sing your song, do your spiritual release of things, but don't take it as if that says something about your person, because they're showing me how like they would tend a plant. It's not the family might affect the plant, but it's not the plant's fault. There's nothing wrong that the plant's doing. The plant's is pure being trying to grow and thrive, right? And so what you would want to do in that situation is caretake the plant and be more tender with it. And that's how they want you to interact with yourself. And that's how they try to come and to secure you and help you feel better, is to allow you to replenish yourself. Because they're saying it's like you've been kind of parched. You guys might have went through a time where you felt like you had to turn off your emotions, or you felt like you were just tapped out. Like, is there anything more? At first I get waterlogged. I felt like a flood, and now I'm just dried out. Like, I just don't know how to sustain myself in a healthy way where I feel like I can grow. I'm kind of rooted and planted very strongly in life, and I feel very balanced, right? And so this is some of their advice of things that they would use, is to see yourself as always in the process of growth. See yourself as being able to connect. If a plant is getting ready to have a hard time, they're afraid they're not going to make it, they need to make sure their roots are strong, and they need to make sure that they keep nurturing themselves, right? They need a little bit of water, that emotional energy, that music is what they suggest here. So this is their way of giving you advice in the way that they think, in the way that they would communicate. They're saying also, don't be afraid of people who are good, that are different than you, because that can actually help your growth as well. Because they're showing me how that little plant that's going through some kind of, famine or struggle can actually get a great benefit from the shade of another tree, right? They can get some kind of learning through somebody else's support system that they have, right? Because trees and plants, they communicate through their roots. So here there could be where you might not live the same way as somebody else, but you can find encouragement from others. You can find a nice embrace or that cool drink of water from others. And they don't want you to be afraid of kind of reaching out and connecting to other people, because that's something they were really afraid of. They want you to feel like you're strong enough to interact. They're showing me also, they're really talking in plant language, like tending the land kind of language. So they're showing me also how let's say if there's a plant, but you're afraid that if you put it outside that it's going to catch some kind of plant disease or something from other plants. And so they're saying that, you have to trust that you can tend to the plant and not be so afraid that something can infect your crops or something that you can't grow. So that's what they're learning about themselves. And that's what they want you to be encouraged with, is don't be afraid to connect with other people, because you're afraid, well, I was finally in a good vibration, but what if they have a negative vibration and it ruins my whole vibration and then I can't heal again, that kind of thing. They want you to see yourself as resistant, as whole. They want you to see yourself as how strong you really are, and to know you can interact with others, and you can be around, if something is just a complete like disease plant, I guess is how they're saying it, then to take that away from your crops. But they don't want you to be so like terrified of interacting with others, or to be looking at the differences from others. They just gave me this plant flower. I look up and there's a plant here, hibiscus happiness. Yeah, that you they don't want you to be so afraid that you can't interact. Okay, hibiscus to me is, you see it everywhere on my channel. It is my favorite flower, and it is a flower that connects in so many different ways to so many energies. It's protective, it's passionate, it's abundant, right? It's just such a beautiful all around flower that has so much passion and uniqueness. So they really want you to be happy and realize that you can thrive in any setting that you're put into. You have the ability to be a plant that can endure the different acidities of the soil, and to connect and commune with other the rest of the ecosystem around you. Okay, so this is their advice that they have very strongly, because they see that you have really had a hard time in the past, feeling very drained, feeling a bit again waterlogged, or feeling just like your heart and your spirit didn't feel as harmonious as it should be. So that's what they want to talk about here. Now, looking at current times, what they want to communicate about, more plants. Um, okay, so they say you do have some challenges coming up, if that's how you want to see them. If that's, for some of you, they're saying if you see something as a straight up challenge, maybe you can handle it better and just kind of like, okay, I'll suck it up and I'll take it on kind of vibe. So they're saying learn learn what motivates you. Okay, so what they're showing me is like they're like in the land working, and then they have someone else who's also working with them, but they have different mentalities. So if they're showing like basically if you're going to work through a like the hot season or through a harsh season, you need to know how you think so that your head doesn't escape you while you're out there in the elements. So they're saying if somebody came and they're just kind of little wishy-washy doing like their work on the land, they could end up being the one who's like, oh my gosh, I'm hot. They're having the breakdown. They're stressed. They can't focus. They can't get the work done because they don't know how to watch their mentality, and they don't know how to keep themselves motivated. So they're saying like they would be motivated one way, but they're like through nurturing and things like that. But maybe the person next to them is motivated more by seeing it as a challenge, right? Like, okay, let's go. Like 3 more rows. Let's go. Let's go. So they're saying, see what motivates you. You might have a different motivation than them. They offered you advice from the nurturing side that they understand, but now they're acknowledging that currently you might have to see how you want to take on your challenges. If you label things a challenge, does it help you get through them in a more focused way? If so, oh, it is going. I paused. Sorry, I thought it stopped. I was like, no. Okay, if so, they want you to stay focused at it, okay? They want you to be like, okay, I got challenges then. If looking at things as a challenge is something that overwhelms you, then change your perspective on it and say, you know what? Look at things growing. Look what we've done. Oh, we're starting a new opportunity. Take it bit by bit and focus on the nurturing side. So this is up to you, but they see that yes, you do have some things that you need to take on. Let's say you do have some things you need to put some work into. They're also showing that you have blessings and portals opening up to you that you don't even recognize yet. You don't even know that you're going to want certain opportunities yet, and they already see that they're opening for you, so they're very excited about that. We have this cherry blossoms, this new start, this fresh energy, but it is a very mature tree, right? It's a tree that's been growing for a while, so they're bringing you some new opportunities in that way. They're bringing you some open doors. So they just want you to be able to stay motivated to get through, the day-to-day kind of things, and some kind of bigger things that will be coming towards you, but you see them in the mentality that helps you feel good about it, okay? Yeah, 6 of Wands, because they said you're going to get over this. Yeah, you're going to get over this with a big flourish, okay? You're going to have a lot of success in this moving forward. They're saying another part of getting your mentality right is to know what you can sacrifice and what you can't. Like, no, they're really good with that. They knew their boundaries. They knew what they would do and what they would not do. People knew them for that. People trusted them for that. They were somebody who they could be very frank. If they didn't like something, or if they didn't move a certain way, if it wasn't within their moral code or something, they were very, very to the point about that. They're saying that will also, knowing that yourself, what you do accept or are flexible on, and what you're not flexible on is going to help you so much in clarifying who you are to the world, and it's going to help you find your path and stick to them, find a sustainable path. It's going to also help you bounce back with confidence and land solidly on your feet, okay? Because you are going to be able to see this is clearly who I am, and this is absolutely what is for me. It's going to really strengthen your resolve. It's going to make you a little bit more stubborn in a good way, because they're a very stubborn person. They like stubbornness. They're not worried about your stubbornness. They really like stubbornness, to be honest. They feel like it's a great quality. So they want you to be able to move without fear, as they said here, and really trust your own wings here, right? So for them, their connection to the land, their connection to what they knew, it increased their thoughts. It opened their mind. It gave them wings to resist more and continue to grow, right? And continue to expand their knowledge base. So they want you to have the same effect, where you're able to say, well, this is who I am. I'm stubborn about it. I know what's right for me and what's not. And I'm going to use that to propel me forward. And then I'll meet the places and people and things that are safe space for me to open my mind up to continue to learn what I don't know. That's kind of how they took it. They were definitely the person who was like, if you if you are not with like my moral code, or if I don't trust how you move in life, like I'm not gonna sit here and waste my time with you and like, kind of listen to you. So right now they feel like that's good for you, because you need to blossom and you need to trust others. But if you constantly around others that you don't trust their perspective because you know it's not good, you're not going to listen to them, right? Or you're going to risk opening yourself to the wrong people, which is what some of you did in the past, right? So they're like, don't worry about that. Just do the work ahead of time. Already set your energy field to, you don't have to like, in order to be harmonious or whatever to the vast public, stay open to every single type of person or situation that comes about, thinking that that's what you have to do to be spiritually kind, right? No, it's good to know what you don't move with. It's a good thing, okay? So they're kind of telling you, prune your plant a little bit, all right? It's okay to get a little bit stubborn about things and to know what is healthy and right for you, okay? But we have a lot of success bouncing back here, and them definitely encouraging you, encouraging you. Some of them could have been Year of the Horse as well. Let's go ahead and see what they have coming up here. Yeah, future. Yeah, so there's definitely like some big opportunities, but also you have to take it on when it comes to career. This, by the way, this family member could come from father's side of the family, definitely. Also, they're saying they want you guys to grow your hair out. It's up to you, but they keep showing me something. There's strength in your hair, so you guys might connect with that. I'm seeing it from different cultures too, so consider that. Some of you might have cut your hair significantly, like for a reason with meaning, but there is like letting your hair grow out if possible. Okay, if you're past the stage where your hair grows out, then disregard, because they are showing me some people might just not grow hair. All right, but they're acknowledging this. Okay. So here, moving forward, they are showing me that you guys are going to have continuous changes in your spiritual beliefs, where you will continue to challenge like what society's taught you about your spiritual beliefs, what society's taught you about them, about this could be where you're challenging, what history says about your own family and about your own ancestors. You're learning what really happened. You're seeking some truth, things of that nature. They're also showing me that you guys are going to do good in business. If you stay confident and again, you find your motivator, you're going to do very, very well. You are going to have to realize that there will be competition. There will be people who they kind of rule that industry and kind of almost like a big corporation energy, but you are able to establish yourself very, very, very well if you move forward, and you can become your own kind of I don't know, I guess established name. I feel like that's something they wish that they did. They wish that they could have done what they love to do because they wanted to for themselves, without having to kind of give it away to others or not get the return that they wanted for their own family. So this is something here as well, where they feel like you can achieve this, right? And we have this energy of them holding you as the new little descendant and encouraging you that you can be very successful with this. Also, they're not too worried about education in a way. So independent studies might be something they encourage, but they feel like mm, only their advice, okay, is to only lean into education that's actually applicable. They don't really they don't really see why, like, it's kind of the energy like, why go and maybe pay someone else or invest to somebody else or learn from someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. They're very practical, hands-on. So like if this is not going to actually help you in the career that you're doing, if this is not going to allow you to thrive and really like do what it is you want to do, they're kind of like, why would we listen to these people? All right, like why was so they would encourage you to have the most personally tailored education path that you could possibly have. This could be the vibe like where they would encourage you, if your kid knows they're into music, let them go to an art school. Like just let them do what they trust. Like kids know what they want to do. Let the kids, let the people in the family do what they want to do. Put them in the arenas of what they're good at. Because they're like, if someone had stuck me somewhere else, they would have had a horrible life. None of their good talents would have shown. They wouldn't have shown that they are this responsible, amazing, nurturing person who was like the best at what they did. That never would have shown if someone made them be in an industry. They're saying tailoring, if they were forced to do tailoring, okay? Because that wasn't their thing. So they're saying that in the family. I don't think it's just with you, but I think in the family as well. There could be people kind of pushing the youngins or pushing themselves or even expecting their elders to continue in jobs or careers or studies that they really don't like, that it's not them, or it's kind of wasting their time in the long roundabout way they're going to it. And they're like, cut to the living, okay? Like get to the living part. Like let this person, bless you baby, let everybody like only study and do what they actually need to do so that they can live the life that they want to of quality. So this could be, for example, maybe you go to a trade school and get your like exactly what you need to know, or you seek out the proper mentors and what it is that you want to do. So it's like they're like, make the path more direct. They feel like we don't need to do all this other stuff. Go and learn. Go, yes, get the full wisdom. They love learning. Get the full wisdom, but don't get like all this extra that you don't need, and it's just wasting your time and money and really stressing you out. I feel like for some of you, you've been very stressed out about studies or about like promotions or something like this. So they said, hey, go to what really works for you. Some of you might work where you've been some kind of boss, or you've worked with some kind of, maybe you're a professor yourself, or you work with school or something, but it's not what you want to do anymore. Maybe you want to teach a different subject, or you just don't feel, oh, okay, because they said history, you could feel like the curriculum's not real. That's what they said. It's not real, or it's not accurate. So that could be something that you're struggling with. You want to be an educator, but what they're saying is education isn't. They're encouraging you to go more independent, and they're encouraging you to stick with your authenticity and be stubborn about it. They gave us the month of April, so it's possible for sure that there's Aries, Taurus with this person. I do see some Leo, some Pisces. But yeah, they have this stubborn energy to them for sure. We said Capricorn could be Aquarius and, or sorry, we said Saturn could be Capricorn and Aquarius for this group. We definitely have lightning here, could be Aquarius. So these could be some of the signs that were in their chart, and that would make a lot of sense why they have this intense way of viewing things for sure. All right, so this is what I'm seeing for your ancestor messages. I thank them so much for coming through. I can feel their energy, like they don't want to stop communicating with you. I saw when they talk about something they like, they can be a little bit of a talker, right? Other than that, they don't talk. So know that this ancestor will continue to connect with you. We do have the number 6 and the number 12 here. So 12 is the number 6 twice. So they could be connected with the number 6, which is the energy of Venus. They really, really want you to make sure, connect with your arts, connect with your heart. All right. And I feel like if you were to, like, if you want to honor this ancestor, keeping up some kind of plant near, I think would really, really make them happy. Happy with the plant. Yes, it would. We do have a rainbow here too. So you might have seen a rainbow because they do like the sky. They did watch the sky a lot. So you might see something with a rainbow, or you might see something with a flute in connection, or some kind of like instrument that one could play while you're on the go in the field with this ancestor. Okay. We did also get a lot of, we got rams because the emperor is connected with rams. We have rams here. So you could see animals that have ram's horns or like goat horns or like antlers in connection to the messages from this ancestor here. There's even a unicorn here. All right. And that's what I'm seeing. Like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you again on another one. Bye. All right, for those of you who chose the black tourmaline here, we're going to go ahead and do your messages. First, we're going to go ahead and see who this ancestor is. This ancestor is a firecracker, all right? Page of Wands energy. You got zebras and cheetahs and all different things. So this ancestor was very dynamic, very spicy. They said what's on their mind. They were known for being the troublesome one from an early stage, okay? Very early stage. They were quick. They were fast. This is the person they would like to run to go do something. They're always like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up kind of vibe. They were short. They were short and fiery and had a little temper, but they had a quick smile too. They could hit you with the mischief and then make you smile at them 2 seconds later, and you'd be like, "What? But I was mad at you. But you're so cute." They had that little tricky, smart aleck side to them for sure. They could have had a bit of a foul mouth, okay, and they could kind of get away with it too. They're sweet and spicy. Okay, they were Sour Patch Kids for sure. They could have had, where a few generations back, like they could have had like a great grandparent or a grandparent who was a different culture than they were. So there was something noted in that. So they could have had some kind of thing where they looked like that side of your family, but they also had maybe something else that kind of came. You could see some kind of feature that came from someone else who had been mixed in a few generations back. And people might had still kind of noted that or talked about that a little bit. Okay. Yeah, they could have liked to wear their hair short. And for their culture, for your culture, they could have been considered more deep skin tone, okay? They're very agile, very quick. Kind of, I would say, modern terms, kind of probably built like a gymnast a bit. Like, short, agile, fast kind of vibe is how a lot of gymnasts are. Hey, I'm very tall and I did gymnastics and was the best in my class. But, how professional gymnasts are, they usually keep them pretty short. So they have this kind of energy. Yeah, they were very close to both sides of their family as well. Very beloved. So they had a lot of kind of support, a lot of people always kind of looking out for them. I think they like to be independent and do their own thing, but they had people who kind of watch out for them around the neighborhood and different sides of the family checking in to see how things were going. They absolutely loved their lifetime as far as the culture, the beliefs, and everything. They said, look, they drank all the Kool-Aid down whole, 100%. They really hold to the community values that they were raised in. They feel like they were able to be themselves. They were able to sprout. They were able to flourish. And they just woke up. That's all they told me. They woke up. So basically, when they're born, they just woke up excited for life, like ready to go, just wriggling, let's go immediately. They're already like wanting to run. They were already wanting to move. They were so excited for this lifetime that they had when they were there. Yeah, they like the heat. They could definitely been a fire sign, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. They could have been year of the tiger or year of the horse. They really just were very excited for life, okay? They also had a big influence on others too. They could get carried away though. They could be a bit naive. Like you could kind of trick them sometimes because they'd be so excited to believe anything, like with magic tricks or something like that. So they'd have to laugh at themselves a bit because they could definitely get pulled into some jokes or be kind of gullible, even though they wouldn't want to be because they like feel like they know all the answers. Then sometimes they would have to laugh at themselves and have some humor because they'd be like, okay, you got me. I was just pretty gullible, huh? Or what's that? What's gullible? So they were very excited to learn everything. Wow, look at this card. Literally, from the moment they were born here, it says you enter the world with a birth cry announcing your arrival with questions and answers. Where did I come from? Where am I going? The baby is born. Joy is born. So they were very excited to come into life. They also say there's some children in the family who they're showing me children who passed in the family and a child who's unborn, who was unborn here. They are with them. And that, don't worry, they're with them. They're saying like the herd's got them. We've got them. Okay, maybe there was something with herding in your family at some point, or they were from a region or something where people might say, "Oh yeah, such and such county. That's where they have the herds of animals or something." So it could be something with a herd. It could be also that I'm seeing more than one person that could have been like a Sagittarius or year of the horse. So that could be why they're saying a herd. Sagittarius is the centaur. Could also connect with Pisces. Pisces actually Neptune connect with horses. Okay, so in the past they're acknowledging that you started onto your spiritual journey here. I'm seeing 333. They've seen that you have recently well, recently in the past here, that you've come into more knowledge. You could have been reviewing things in past life energy. There's Akashic records. You could be looking through, you could be going through their past a little bit, trying to, just the journey of you trying to figure out who they are, reconnecting. But this awakening of spiritual gifts, they feel like becoming very wise. So some of you are already reading cards. You could have done some ceremony. There's just all the mystical things here that we see with the energy of the tarot reader, the energy of the soul seeker who's connecting and having the deep aha moments, the energy of reviewing your life, of knowing about your astrology, knowing about your soul path, doing different spiritual things like candles and incense, all that kind of thing. So they're very much aware of this. Okay, and if you were worried for some reason that they would mind, I don't see that at all. Yeah, I do see that this ancestor does really stick to the beliefs of where they come from and their time, like what those cultural beliefs would be. But I see them surveying, and I think that they are very excited. It's very natural for them to see that you would be doing some kind of mystical things. It's not something that's off-putting at all. And they really like you connecting to truth more and more, and realizing, also they're showing like realizing a certain detachment that maybe different versions of yourself are left in the past. So they seem to have an awareness here of like whom you were in past lives as well. Um, who you were. Interesting, interesting. They seem to see how things are written a bit differently now for you. I feel like you guys, there's a vibe of you guys reincarnating in the same family multiple times. I think that's what it is, because they just keep showing me you in this kind of double way. More than one child, two children, back again kind of vibe, but you reviewing things and being different than you were last time, being wiser than you are. But they're noting specifically how they have seen you through multiple incarnations, and that there's some personality differences that you've had, kind of the different people that you've been basically, but you being wise and being very wise this lifetime, and you figuring this kind of stuff out, and that being really exciting to them and very curious to them as well. Yeah, very interesting how they're showing me and how I'm trying to translate here what they're showing. But yeah, definitely there's the vibe that this ancestor's been with you on multiple journeys, but also that they've seen you both kind of cycle through. So this is an ancestor that you've been their ancestor before, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, how beautiful. How beautiful. Okay. Yes, they're so playful. Do you see this? I adore them. Look at them. They're just playing in the rain, singing in the rain, manifestation and illumination. They love it. They love it because this is the kind of person they always were. We have the number 25, we have the number 2, we have the number 7, and the number 9. So those could connect with birthday numbers currently in the family. Or a baby who's going to be born, because they're always talking about the new ones coming in. They really love that. They really sit with the new children coming in and the children they receive on their side. Yeah, could be some Aquarians here for sure. We could have some Virgos here. We could have Aquarian again. Some Capricorns. Could be some Capricorns. Some Cancers. And some Leos, okay? So they have a great excitement for whatever you're creating. So their advice for you is to continue to spiritually educate yourself and be aware and have your aha moments. Don't let anyone stop you dancing and being excited. They're like, yes, every rain cloud's for you, every sun rays for you, every ocean splash is for you. They love that energy. Okay, you remind them of themselves when they were here, of why they loved being on the planet so much. They got so excited about everything. They were like, what, water falling from the sky? This is amazing. Like, they just loved every single thing about the planet. They really loved being curious. They love interacting with life itself. And so when they see you taking joy, having your singing in the rain moments, being happy, they just love it. It really does it for them. So they want you to stay as someone who is so encouraged that you can manifest what you want in life. Somebody who, as you learn the spiritual things and you have that great depth to you, and you go down the wormhole of that, and you just like, because they're like that. If they got excited about something, they'd want to go and study it to the hilt. There could be Scorpio energy, because we're going to ocean depths, and Scorpios are like that. When they get excited about something, they will study it back to ye oldest ancient days and just dive into it. So, but at the same time, they're saying you have the ability to look at things in kind of the shallow sparkle waters of things and the great depths. And they like to be around you because of that reason, because you know how to understand complex simplicity and simple complexity at the same time. So they encourage you to continue to be a good heart. 9 vibration is very beautiful. It's the complete numbers before you go into like what they call the master numbers. I do see 11 here as well. So yes, Scorpios and Sagittarians. It's the number of, it's kind of like Pisces as a zodiac sign would be, but it's very complete spiritually. It's very full. It's very giving. Think 9 of Cups and Tarot, Jupiter and Pisces energy. So they love you to be someone who is a giver, a sharer, and that goes with your energy, your emotions. They don't want you to be afraid to like express who you are, to dance, to sing, to be playful, to be interactive, to be experimental. Those are all things they really encourage you with. And they said, look, don't let people put labels on you. They are not worried about someone's labels. They want you to feel life in a very raw, like all over kind of way. Like, did you feel it the most? Like, they would be the kind of person, let's say they were still on the planet with you and you come running in the house, like they would be like, what did the grass smell like today? What did the sunshine look like today? They would be interested in all your unique viewpoint on every little wind that blew that day, okay? And how you feel. How did you feel? How did it make you grow? What were you excited in? Did it make you want to get into mischief? They had that kind of spirit to them. And they would be like, someone could ask them, well, why did you do X, Y, Z? And they would be like, well, because the wind, blew and it made me feel all tickly. And I just couldn't help it. I felt so excited. I just ran over to the orchard to eat some apples. And the people were just like, what is with this person? What are they saying? They have the energy of the Fool card. So I said often that we have the, empresses, all the queens, the emperors, all the kings. People say that a lot. The fool is all the pages, okay? The fool is all the pages of tarot. So they have that kind of vibe. They're the page of wands vibe who knows that they are the fool card connected to all that is. And so when you are allowing yourself to shine out that pure magical child energy, they say that is their advice for you. That's what gets you through. So now let's look at their present and then their future of how they're seeing things for you. Presently, they're saying that there are some things to overcome. You will overcome them. We have the energy of Agate here, the fern. You overcome things. You will, you will, you will. Some of you have had some financial difficulties. You didn't have the harvest that you expected for yourself, but your spiritual energy is still like sending out the ping of what you want. So they want you to stick with it, okay? If someone's not giving you your flowers, the cardinal just came back over here, y'all. Cardinals, ancestors, hello. It stopped by for group 1 and then walked away, and here it came again. So if you are not getting your flowers, that's when the cardinal landed. Give them to yourself right now. They want you to be self-made. So if you connect with this magical, sparkly, wonderful energy that they're showing here, you can understand why they would say you can be self-made, because this is a self-generating person, right? This is somebody who is exploding outwards for life. They're not living in fear. They're not, they're not feeling small in any way. And they feel like you have this in you, because we've been, like, I see you. We have similarities in us, right? And so they're here to remind you and to encourage you here, not to get too caught up in your head or so caught up in the diagnosis of things that you can't go ahead and let yourself just kind of, again, they're just like explode. They just keep telling me explode outwards, is what they're showing me. It's like confetti, like just let things go. Let yourself not worry about where the confetti is going to land. Think more of the celebration kind of vibe, okay? Eco-friendly confetti, of course. Yeah, they're definitely showing me. We have 9s and 3s again. Could have some March birthdays, Aries, Pisces. They're showing me here that there is the fear of I've lost before, my ships didn't come in, I lost finances, I hit rock bottom, or I didn't get the returns I want. So I'm afraid that I can't overcome this. I'm afraid I'm going to be stuck. I'm afraid that maybe I shouldn't try to be self-made. Maybe I shouldn't try to do my own career. Maybe I should just let people put the labels on me that they say. And if I were to conform to that, then I would get some kind of result. Oh, the lady cardinal just came over too. Yeah, hi. She's sitting here for a moment, and there goes the male again. They're chatting, and they're looking at me. So this spirit is not alone, as they said. They have others with them, and they have little ones with them as well. But their vibe here is they want you to lean into your power, open up your solar plexus. That's what they want to explode outwards. You're going to think you're overdoing it sometimes, but you're not, because you're just getting started. You could work with Tiger's Eye energy. There could be Year of the Tiger people here as well. They want you to not let this define you. Yeah, that's kind of that energy of, how can I let one puddle define me if there's a whole ocean? This is how they think. How can I let getting caught in one rain cloud define me when there's a whole sky? There's an entire atmosphere. And as a matter of fact, maybe that was a beautiful puddle. Maybe that was a beautiful rain cloud, and I needed to dance in it for a moment. So they have this kind of mindset where they don't want you to ever think. It's like the plant can't stop growing thinking they'll never reach the sky, is what they're telling me. They just tell me that the plant can't stop growing thinking it's not going to reach the sky, right? Because plants start in the soil. They have other things in the way as they're growing, but they have to continue to grow. They have to give themselves the heights, and then that's when they are the ones that shade the rest of us from the sky, right? So they're not worried. It's not that they don't care. I'm not saying they don't care, but they're not worried about whatever lack has happened, whatever delays in travel, whatever job change or loss of job, quitting a job being slow to take off if you're doing your own thing. Some of you have made mistakes and you feel kind of embarrassed. You've mismanaged some funds. They're not worried about it. They're saying we can overcome this. I feel like we should get a few more cards here. We can overcome this. Yeah, it's like this is doable. This is very doable. Yeah, Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups. Again, they said get rid of labels and be who you are. Some of you are LGBT plus. Okay, some of you are transgender. Some of you are non-binary. There is, look, there is the Fool card. There's no boundaries to love from this ancestor. And it's loving you as who you are, not overlooking who you are. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference. There's loving you as who you are from this ancestor, okay? So they're saying when you're the little tree